or typical cervical vertebrae. This is the first C1 cervical vertebra. This is known as atlas. This is second cervical vertebra known as axis. You can see this dens of this second cervical vertebra. And this is the subvertebra prominence, which is not having the bifid spine. Instead, it's ending into this tubercle. Let's see first the atlas cervical vertebra. So this is C1 cervical vertebra, also known as atlas, because it supports this globe of the skull to form atlanto-occipital joint. You can see it's forming joint with these occipital condyles to form atlanto-occipital joint. It supports this globe of the skull, similar to the Greek god Atlas. That's why the name Atlas. Now here you can see it's ring-shaped vertebra, and it's not having the body and the spinous process. This is because it is said that the centrum or body of the atlas, it is fused with the centrum of the second cervical vertebra. So the dens represent the body of the first cervical vertebra, and instead this atlas is having this anterior arch, posterior arch and two lateral masses. The anterior arch is short, posterior arch is longer, and these are lateral masses. Now here you can see on superior surface these elliptical concave facets are present. These are for the articulation with the occipital condyles, which are present on inferior surface of the skull. This form ellipsoid variety of synovial joint, and the movement taking place at this joint is this nodding movement, that is yes movement. So this is the joint form, that is the atlanto-occipital joint by this superior articulate facet. The direction of this facet is forward and medially. So you can identify superior surface by presence of this elliptical facet, while inferiorly the facets, these are, you can see these are round, and this is for the articulation with the superior articulating facet of the second cervical vertebra to form lateral atlanto-axial joint. You can see that this is the anterior arch, which is showing this anterior median tubercle. Here at the upper border of anterior arch there is attachment of anterior atlanto-occipital membrane, which fills the gap between the occipital bone and this atlas. So this is the attachment of anterior atlanto-occipital membrane. Posterior use attachment in its upper border to posterior atlanto-occipital membrane. On the posterior arch, you can see the groove is present for the vertebral artery. Now the vertebral artery is ascending from the foramen transverse area. It ascends upward and then it comes on this posterior arch. So it's passing medially, and at that time it grooves this posterior arch of atlas and along with the vertebral vein and sympathetic plexus of nerve. Here this artery is crossed from below by the first cervical nerve, which divides into anterior and posterior rami. Posteriorly, on this aspect you can see the posterior median tubercle. This represents rudimentary spine of this atlas cervical vertebra. Now let's see the attachment of this atlas. Now here on the medial aspect of this lateral masses, you can see these tubercles are present. This gives attachment to transverse ligament. This transverse ligament, it separates this foramen into two parts. Anterior part, which is occupied by the dens, and posterior part, which is similar to the vertebral foramen. And this posterior part, it contains spinal cord along with meninges, then the vertebral veins and spinal part of accessory nerve, that is the 11th cranial nerve. So these are the content of this posterior part. While anterior part, it contains these dens. This anterior surface of dens articulate with the facet which is present on posterior surface of anterior arch. And posteriorly, these dens also articulate with the transverse ligament which is between these tubercles on the medial aspect of lateral masses. So this forms the median atlanto-axial joint, while lateral atlanto-axial joint, that is formed by these lateral facets which are present on inferior surface of atlas. So median atlanto-occipital joint is a pivot variety of joint. Over this skull along with the atlas, it rotates. This causes side to side movement or no movement, as when we are saying the no. So this is pivot variety of synovial joint. Let's see the muscle attachment. This here on each side of this anterior median tubercle, there is attachment of the longus colli muscle. So here longus colli muscle, lateral to it, here rectus capitis anterior muscle. On this transverse process, this upper surface of this transverse process gives attachment to rectus capitis lateralis. So longus colli, rectus capitis anterior, rectus capitis lateralis, and here tip of this transverse process, it gives attachment to levator scapulae muscle. While the posterior aspect of this transverse process, this here, it gives attachment to obliquus capitis superior. Inferior surface of this transverse process on lateral side, it gives attachment to obliquus capitis inferior. This obliquus capitis superior and inferior, they are muscles of the suboccipital triangle. Now here, this is the posterior aspect. This posterior tubercle, it gives attachment to ligamentum nuchae. So here there is attachment of ligamentum nuchae. On each side, here the muscle attached is the rectus capitis posterior minor. So this is about the attachment of the muscle. So here you can palpate the transverse process of this atlas between mastoid process and mandible. In this angle, on deep palpation, it can be palpated. You can identify as the cervical vertebra as it is having the foramen transversorium. It is a ring-shaped vertebra and absence of body and absence of spine. So these are the peculiarities of this vertebra. Thank you.